Here we go. This is the one we're reading. This one is called Glory, Glory, Hole-Alujah.
Hole-Alujah?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Warning, this was thrown together during a mutual fit of insanity. It's written by Dr. Gonzo. This was thrown together during a mutual fit of insanity. We refuse to be held responsible for our own demented minds. Switching point of view will be indicated by headers. Spoilers, none.
This doesn't sound good.
There's headers?
Yeah. Summary. A cultural ritual takes an unexpected turn when Obi-Wan and Qui-Gon find themselves on opposite sides of a hole in the wall.
Are you in some... Are you in like an Obi-Wan Qui-Gon section of the site? Like, is this...
Those seem to be...
That's mostly what it is.
Yeah, that's most of the fan fiction that's written.
It's interesting. There's no Amidala fan fiction?
Very little.
Nothing about, Lives of the Handmaidens?
Very little.
Okay.
So the headers, there are headers right from the get-go. Okay? So it tells you which perspective. Because I guess we're on opposite sides of the hole in the wall. So you got to know which side you're on. Okay, ready? Qui-Gon.
You're struggling here.
Qui-Gon Jinn stuck his penis through a hole in the wall.
Apparently they got glory holes.
I mean, I saw it coming, I guess, the opposite sides of the wall, but I thought there would be some buildup.
The story wastes no time. They're not even telling us how they got to the wall, where it is, where the hole is, what planet they're on.
Well, the hole is at sort of probably like penis height.
Well, traditionally a hole in the wall is...
Go on, please. Finish that sentence.
Well, I've always heard that there's a place in France where the ladies wear no pants, and there's a hole in the wall where the guys can see it all.
Right. I've also heard that.
This doesn't
aphorism.
Maybe that is this hole. Maybe this
is he in France?
I don't know. We don't know yet. They started media res.
So just
we don't know where this story is.
Read the first sentence. Or I want to see this.
Qui-Gon Jinn stuck his penis through a hole in the wall. It wasn't an experience. That's its own paragraph, by the way. That's one sentence. Period. New paragraph.
That makes sense.
It wasn't an experience with which he was intimately familiar, eminently comfortable. He looked surreptitiously...
What is this?
Surreptitiously down the length of the wall where other holes waited at varying lengths with varying diameters.
Oh, that makes sense that there would be, like, it's an alien, like, civilized... there's a lot of different penises and a lot of different heights and shapes and sizes.
It was more cold than arousing. The plasticine ring that cradled his most intimate part. So they put rings around the holes. It's not just a
punch. Yeah, right.
Yeah. The cradle's most intimate parts had not been warmed in preparation for occupancy. Well, beggars can't be choosers. Furthermore, he felt rather vulnerable, considering that he had no idea who might be on the other side of the wall.
Why is he doing this? Also, he's a Jedi. He should have some familiarity. Like, he should be able to sense, someone's feelings or,
He can sense a great disturbance in the Force. You tell me he can't figure it. Bouncing carefully on his heels to keep the circulation going, he waited. Obi-Wan knelt on the cushion that had been provided for him. Oh, boy. Waiting for his first patron. God, this was embarrassing.
Why would this be happening? What possible reason?
I'm hoping it's explained. Media res.
I think you're right that the media res is crucial to the setup here. Because,
I'm hoping it unfolds itself.
Because it's like we're hooked right in.
Yeah.
Obi-Wan did what?
Yeah. God, this was embarrassing. Just how did he always manage to get involved in these things? Okay, so we're learning a little more. This isn't the first time this has happened.
I want to make this clear. This is not written by George Lucas and has nothing to do with the Star Wars Expanded Universe.
But he is the man. He shook away his lingering discomfort. It wasn't important, he told himself. All that mattered was doing his duty and doing it well. It would not do to shame the Jedi with a poor performance. Not far down from him was another humanoid performing his duty. So they're
and there's no separation. So
there's a big wall, a lot of holes. So on one side of the wall, a bunch of people are sticking their wheelies in, and the other side, a bunch of people are kneeling on cushions.
Yeah. For what reason, we do not yet know.
Obi-Wan found his eyes reluctantly drawn to the sight. It should have been humorous, perhaps, watching a young man servicing an anonymous patron through the barrier of a wall, but somehow... he squirmed uncomfortably, trying to watch without obviously staring.
Can we skip ahead?
Qui-Gon. Qui-Gon uncomfortably attempted not to listen to the person that had already been enjoying the services of this establishment when he arrived.
This is filled with innuendo for a thing that began with Qui-Gon putting his penis through a wall.
Now they're beating around the bush.
Right. The services.
Now they're acting coy. Apparently he found this concept more exciting than Qui-Gon himself did. Still, when the Jedi Master discovered what accepting the ritual courtesies of the Jaxterian royal court involved, he'd been glad that he could sneak away without his Padawan and Obi-Wan's customary place at his side. Now we're learning a little more.
Okay, right. Qui-Gon doesn't know that Obi-Wan's on the other side of the wall.
They're visiting a Jaxterian palace.
Which
apparently
is like a glory hole civilization,
This is what you do.
Yeah, right.
And he went, let me sneak away from Obi-Wan. Get along.
A little man time.
Yeah. Without Obi-Wan here to witness, this was merely uncomfortable. With him here, it might have been impossible. Qui-Gon squirmed a bit, gazing up at the ceiling.
With the squirming, Jesus Christ.
This is my favorite piece of writing so far. Squirmed a bit, gazing up at the ceiling. Period. Beige. Period. You could use a nice new coat of paint and a quiet beige. A quiet beige.
Sure. Because, I hate a loud beige.
The man next to him finished with a shout. Convulsing, palms slapping against the wall, and Qui-Gon blushed crimson. Looking away and humming a little to himself. Jedi control. When he was accepted and pleasured, he would not make such a vulgar and embarrassing display. It would not be commensurate with the dignity of a Jedi Master. So we know the stakes.
I hate it.
When he comes, he can't act like a fool. The stage is set. That's the goal. Don't act like a fool when you bust a nut. Obi-Wan. Fighting the urge to whistle, Obi-Wan instead settled himself on his back against the soft cushions. On his back. His back.
Okay.
The customs of some people would never cease to amaze him, he thought, shaking his head slightly. When the Chamberlain had told him what would be expected of him, it had been all he could do not to faint right there in the richly decorated throne room, like some flighty little child, not the Jedi he was supposed to be. David is now checking his emails.
I am not listening to you.
The other servicer was certainly getting vigorous, he noted, with a touch of apprehension. This might not be as easy as he had first thought. All thoughts were wiped away when he glanced back at his own station and saw that this first patron had arrived when he wasn't paying attention.
I understand.
There's a dick hanging out of the hole in the wall.
I think I can see the ultimate twist of this story. I think I can see where it's all heading.
He winced mentally. Not a good way to start out.
Mentally?
Mentally winced. He went like this. Not a good way to start out. Shifting forward onto his knees, he steeled himself for what he was about to do. Just duty, he reminded himself. This was a part of his mission. It must be handled like any other task.
Why is he doing this?
Just duties. Part of a mission. They handle like any other task. The last sentence explained...
It did not.
It explained all of it.
No, it did not.
A part of his brain snickered at the word handle. Why is his brain snickering and wincing? And he ignored it, calm and ready to do his service, until he got a good look at exactly what he was supposed to be servicing. Oh boy. Oh boy.
All right, I mean, this is the first time I'm genuinely intrigued.
Right? Qui-Gon. The longer he waited to be attended, the more uncomfortable Qui-Gon grew. Perhaps he had stuck himself into the wrong hole. Maybe he was being filmed for purposes of blackmail. Maybe the size of his cock was just too intimidating for anyone to take him up on this ludicrous
We've never
offer.
talked about it, but Liam Neeson is famous for being well endowed, right?
Yeah.
That's a long-standing film, Hollywood rumor, right?
Within Hollywood circles, he is rumored to have one of, if not the biggest, penis.
I hate everything that we're doing today.
Janice Dickinson once said it was like a fucking Evian bottle. Janice Dickinson's the world's first supermodel.
Yeah, no. Well, yeah, anyway, carry on. Yes, she is, you're right.
He gazed longingly back in the direction of the small dressing chamber where he had left his robes and his lightsaber. Well, the metal one, anyhow. So, David, what's going on here?
No, I understand.
It's like a lightsaber of the flesh.
You've made multiple lightsaber penis puns in the course of
That's
us
what
doing
I'm
this
saying.
podcast.
Maybe this is going to help us figure it out.
No, it's not.
This might help us figure the movie out.
After this story, we're done.
I have 6 more tabs open.
Can you cut to something? Because, this is,
Yeah.
You wanted to make this a quick episode.
Yeah, the next story is going to be called Pleasure Boy. Unless the DNA of the Jaxtarians had changed when he walked into this room, the man in front of him was not of their species. If the fact that his skin... We're on Obi-Wan now. If the fact that his skin wasn't green hadn't given him away, then certainly the tiny strands of dark hair that were visible would have. His patron was a human there then, but Obi-Wan had thought that his master and he himself were the only humans in the palace. Interesting. He clapped a hand over his mouth before the hysterical giggles that were rising up could escape. Oh, force around him. This could not be happening. He invokes the force around him like, oh my god, oh my force.
He does.
Still, he thought as he studied the soft flesh that was only inches from his face. He had been wanting his master for years now. Perhaps not like this, but in some fashion. So he's a quick study. He's figuring out.
Right, you got it. He figured it out.
He's got... There's only one...
He figured out who... Yeah, we know. We figured it out.
A mischievous impulse rose in him, and he leaned forward, very lightly running his tongue along the side of the flaccid
Griffin, I'm going to have to cut you off.
After all, he did have to do his duty for the Jedi. Qui-Gon. Should he leave? This was ridiculous.
Is there much more of this?
Yeah, it's very long. While he waited, 2 more men had walked up and inserted themselves. David's now writing a piece for his job. He's now writing a review for the Atlantic Wire.
No, it's just the Atlantic.
Oh, right.
I don't work for the Wire anymore.
The Wire. While he waited, 2 more men had walked up and inserted themselves and were giving every indication of enjoying the experience. Perhaps he should. Qui-Gon flinched and very nearly shouted, as just at the moment he would have pulled back, a hot, wet tongue touched him and trailed along his flaccid shaft. To use flaccid shaft twice is a little lazy. I think you could call it different terms. He trembled, going almost instantly erect at the shock of the soft touch, and bent his head, his hair curtaining his face, and screening his embarrassment. Force willing, this would be over. God willing. I love that they use force like it's God. Like, force willing, this would be over quickly. Ooh, premature ejaculate? That could tell us a lot about the negotiations were quick. Maybe that's like the negotiations. Because if we knew that this happened before...
This is before, right.
Right. So maybe it's like, sorry that my negotiations were so quick.
You keep acting like this has any bearing on
This is so much... We haven't hit the end yet, David.
Can I just see what...
Thor seemed like a piece of shit, but then you saw the Avengers and it made sense. So maybe we watched them in the wrong order.
This is so incredibly long. Griffin,
that's long.
When is it over?
Yeah, Phantom Menace is 220. Any story worth telling is worth telling in detail.
When do I actually just have to stop you?
Qui-Gon.
I'm gonna kill you. Should
he leave? This was... Oh, no, I read this part already. Yeah. He had let his forehead rest against the wall and waited for more. Obi-Wan. He had just only barely touched the man. His cock had stiffened immediately. Obi-Wan leaned back quietly to avoid losing an eye, looking somewhat nonplussed at his master's shaft. Damn, he had been impressive enough soft. Erect, his master was damn well formidable. Most people say formidable.
Formidable.
You say formidable?
Formidable. I think I say both.
I say formidable.
Yeah.
But I wanted to mix it up. Banthas had smaller organs than Qui-Gon. Okay, so
Obi-Wan has... Now, a Bantha is a giant, sort of like woolly mammoth-sized Tatooine creature, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
So it's like saying he's got like a horse cock.
Yeah.
Oh, well, no going back now. He reached up and gently took the heated length in hand. Heated length is an interesting expression for penis.
I'm not listening to you.
What are you working on right now?
I'm just looking at some casting rumors about Martin Freeman and Captain America
Who do you
Civil
think he's
War.
going to play?
I think that he's going to play like
Guys,
Suit.
what is going on? What is going on?
He's reading a fan fiction to me.
I was into it. I've been captivated this whole time.
Okay, then I'll get back into it.
I don't want to hear about Captain America. I want to hear what happens with this great story that we're listening to.
Had it been so long, he wondered, stroking the soft skin lightly, that his master was ready to come at barely a touch? And yet the story's going to be over faster than we thought, ignoring the fact that we scrolled down and saw how long it is.
It's incredibly long. You know how like there's a little scroll bar at the side? It's a dot. It's tiny.
Wow. Yeah.
That dot's near the top of the page. Mischief was replaced by a surge of determination. None of it had anything to do with it. He may never have a chance to do this again. He would be damned if he let it end so quickly. Okay, so this is important.
No, it's not.
No, the Jedis have to sacrifice everything to become a Jedi. It's like being a monk.
Yeah, sure. They're very monastic.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'd previously theorized that maybe they are not allowed to love.
We will not release this episode. It won't be released.
Oh, you don't think this is going to get on Podmas, fucker? You don't think Todd Vanderwerf is going to be all over this bullshit?
He doesn't work for the AV Club anymore.
Really? Where's he working
He
now?
works for Vox.
Oh, right. Who runs Podmas now?
I don't even know who runs Podmas anymore.
You still have an in, though, right? You could probably...
Yeah, I should probably email someone.
You know, sometimes they, like, pick one episode to sort of test it out and see if it's Podmas worthy.
Yeah.
Let's throw on this one.
We should leave that part in, too. Talk about Podmas.
We're going to leave everything in.
Okay, wait, this part...
And then not release this episode.
Okay, jokes aside, this next part is very important. We're trying to figure out the movie.
No, we're not.
These are new details. Ready?
You're just... Go ahead.
Are you ready?
Yeah, I'm ready.
Carefully, Obi-Wan pushed back his master's foreskin. Okay. Okay. Exposing the crimson head of his shaft. Okay. Uncircumcised.
That's great. So happy for
Do we
him.
think this is a Jedi thing? Some Jedis are discovered at birth. Do we think all Jedis are uncircumcised?
I mean, you know, there's no evidence of, like, Jewish or Islamic tradition in the Star Wars universe.
No, and we never see a hospital in The Phantom Menace. We don't know.
True.
Even for medical reasons. Do you know what I like about it?
Nothing.
David, no, I'll tell you what I like about it. By giving him a foreskin, it's further drawing this comparison between his penis and a lightsaber. Because a lightsaber has to pop out of.
I think that's a stretch, though.
You pull it back and then there's a crimson head.
I don't know. Also, he has a green lightsaber.
By the way, I'm going to start calling myself the Crimson Head. It was already shiny. Why are you talking about shiny, dick? With soft fluid, a testament to Qui-Gon's sudden arousal.
Okay.
So some pre-cum.
Stop reading this story immediately. Go to the end and tell me what happens.
Can I
No,
finish this
We're
sentence?
only at pre-cum, David.
No, I refuse. It's 1:20 right now.
And with a secret smirk, Qui-Gon leaned forward and lapped the clear liquid away, savoring the salty bitterness, his tongue probing the tiny slit.
We are marked on iTunes as being explicit, right, Ben?
Yes.
Because if not, we're going to get taken off iTunes.
For this one, this is pretty tasteful.
I think so too. Did I mention this story is rated NC-17? When I went onto the site, to the fan fiction site, all the stories had ratings.
I know that's a thing in fan fiction.
What, you want to hear a fucking PG story? You think that's going to be fun?
No, I don't want to do anything right now.
You sure?
Who do you think Martin Freeman's going to play?
I think probably like a government official.
Yeah, minor role.
Right?
Yeah.
No, I think it'll be like an important role, but maybe someone closer to like what Gary Shandling played in Iron Man 3.
Or, you know, maybe you could be...
Or Captain America 2 was the one. He was in Iron Man 2 and Captain America 2.
And Chris O'Dowd in Thor: The Dark World. We always forget about him.
He was great in that. What a masterpiece that movie is.
Yep.
What is happening?
Well, Ben gets immediately angry when we get off the track of this story.
There's an R-rated story.
Wait, just what
called
happens
The Gift.
at the end of this
Can I just
story?
read you the capsule of this? The Gift. Review. This is another Obi turns into a girl story. And a really good one at that. How will Qui-Gon react when his apprentice turns into a really hot girl? Hot's italicized.
Now,
How will Obi-Wan attract to her master's sudden attention?